So what I wanted to talk to everybody about was goal setting. I was hoping there would be more people here, but that is the way it goes. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
No.
Nope.
Desktop 1. Oh.
There we
See it now.
go.
Okay.
No?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, cool beans. Okay. So we talked last month a little bit about flex points and how you redeem flex points, where you find out what your current level is with Stampin' Up, whether you're bronze, bronze elite, silver, silver elite, gold, gold elite, and so on and so forth. And so we went in and looked at where you would find your flex points and how you redeem them. And that time I thought you had to redeem them by October 15th, but it is by October 31st. That is the final day, and then after that you lose them. They've only added one additional item that I have seen so far. So my recommendation is, even though if you're an upline, it hurts your commissions, my recommendation still is that you would get a gift card or cash them in so that you can buy Stampin' Up product, as opposed to gas or hotel. I think you lose a lot of points by redeeming them that way. So might as well turn it in and get extra product. And there, it's indefinite, the length of time, I believe, that you can keep those flex points, because I waited almost a half a year. I think I waited until the next catalog went live. So this annual catalog is when I first redeemed, and I got 2 gift cards of $100 or CSV for each one. So
now I redeemed the 40 CSV because I was eligible for that, and I got the cup, the Stampin' Up cup, and I of course it left me like 500 points left, you know, of flex points. But I mean, do you move those flex points, or you just leave them where they are?
you have to spend them by October 31st or they disappear.
Well, there's nothing else I can spend them on, so they get lost.
There isn't anything for 300?
Nope.
Nope.
The lowest I think is like 2,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that's very unfair, is that you don't get to use all your flex points.
Okay.
For the group that, you know, I mean, we're little, and so we don't get many flex points since we don't have anybody under us and things like that. So
right.
So I went ahead and used mine, and I could only get the 40 CSVs. I didn't have enough for 100 CSVs. So, but and then I went ahead and spent, because it didn't say how long you had to spend them. So that's good to know, Terry.
Yeah.
Once you have them, but I went ahead and did it to get the blends. I decided that was the way to get some blends. So
yeah.
Out. So
did that pop up when you went in and tried to order them, and this is, you want to spend those?
Because you have to do a demonstrator order, and it tells you this in the email. Mm-hmm. And then at first we didn't think it was working, because Tracy and I were doing this, but I had to get my total demonstrator order up over $40. And then it said, oh, you have 40 CSVs to use in the system. And I was like, oh. So it's a little tricky. Like, there's no coupon code, there's no nothing. It's just in the system, but you have to get it above the amount. So like, let's say I was doing 100. My order would have had to been over 100 for it to recognize I had that to spend. So.
I remember I got caught with the same thing. Okay. I finally contacted my BDA and said, did I lose these 2 gift certificates for $100 each? Oh my gosh, tell me I didn't. And she wrote back and she said, no, but your order has to be 100 or more before you can redeem it. I was like, oh, okay, that does make sense, I guess.
I wish they would say that, though, because I started putting it in to see what was there, and it's like, it's nothing. You're like, well, where is it?
Because in the old system, as soon as you logged in and went to click on a demonstrator order, there would be a notice that came up that says you have something. Do you want to redeem it now, or do you want to save it for later? And that was a couple of years ago. So now I guess they don't do that. So.
And then Tracy was telling me we used to be able to. Hi, Tommy.
Hey,
Hi,
Tommy.
Hi.
You just got, no, your head not there.
Oh.
No, just your neck. There you go.
Hi there.
Yay.
He hasn't
Looking good.
Probably walking around in his underwear still.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Relaxing Sunday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, Tracy was telling me we used to be able to use like those leftover points for adhesive and stuff, and I wish they'd go back and let us do that, you know, because it was, I'm like, that's 700 some points I just left on the table, you know, because I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, and I mean it's money that either you've spent or somebody else has spent. That
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well,
Right.
we'll just keep. I think the other thing we can do is just keep at them and keep.
Right. I was just going to say, that's why I wanted to mention on this call. So anybody listening to the recording, please email demo support and let them know.
For sure. So let's talk about then goal setting for the coming year and how to make this the best year possible. So I think I briefly touched last time on setting an annual goal, and I'm going to keep talking about it over the next few Zoom meetings over the next couple of months as new people join our team or as people sort of start participating in our Zoom meetings. I think it's really good reminder. I talked very briefly last month about how when I set a goal for myself, whether it's a goal at work or it's a personal fitness or health goal or it's a Stampin' Up! Goal, once I set it, it seems to come true. So one of the things is I encourage, since this is the beginning of the Stampin' Up! Years, that we all set our own personal annual goals. And then depending on what your goal is, and I'm going to get into an example next. So if it's like, I want to get X number of customers, I want to hold X number of classes, I want to sell X number of dollars in product, set that goal as an annual goal and then divide it by 12 so that then you break it down into a monthly goal. So several years ago when I was trying to earn the trip to Fiji, there was X number of dollars in sales that I had to achieve, and that seemed almost insurmountable until I divided it by 12 and realized, oh, all right, well, that's not quite as bad if I look at it as a 12 months. This is what I have to sell each month. And then once you have it by monthly, then divide it again by 4, so then you have a weekly goal, which is what I've got right now. Is I'm tracking my sales, which is that's passive. This is much more active. So what I'm doing right now is saying, well, this is how much I'm selling each week, but that's not stepping out and doing anything to increase that amount. So start with your annual goal, divide it by 12 for your monthly, and then divide it by 4 again. Divide it by 12 for your monthly and then divide it by 4 so that you have a weekly goal, regardless of what it is. And I'll show you next month some ideas for different goals that people might want to set, other than, for example, the incentive trip. And then after you've got your monthly goal, I encourage you to create a tracker and fill it in every week. I had encouraged the team to download and print out the incentive trip tracker because it kind of does that. It does it by quarterly. So you could do it by quarterly and then track by quarterly. So do annual, quarterly, monthly, and then fill it in weekly. And then what I've done is I've set what I want for my business. I don't find this tracker as useful. It's just too generic for me, but it is a good starting point if you're trying to achieve the cruise through the Greek Isles. And then the last thing is to try new ideas to help you achieve your goals. So it's good to set goals, but it's also good if you're trying to sort of stretch yourself and go above and beyond what you currently do, to try new things to help you achieve those. So let's get into an example. So I want to earn the Greek Isles cruise. And let's say that I really didn't want to support a team, so I'm not planning at recruiting at this point in time. I just want to earn it through sales. So this example will walk us through sales. And then next month, I'll talk about earning the Greek Isles cruise through combining sales with recruits and helping your recruits promote. But for this example, for sales only, so in order to achieve the cruise, I need 140,000 flex points, which in the US, oh, there's Tracy joining us. Hi, Tracy.
Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Oh, I'm not sure, is your
Here.
Yeah, so if you want to achieve the cruise, so let's say this is my goal, I need, just for sales alone, I need 140,000 flex points. which is 140,000 in sales. Because in the US, for every $1 I sell, I get 1 flex points. Now there is something that we'll talk about in a minute beyond that. So if I say, all right, I need 140,000 flex points, and I divide that by 12, that's 1,166.66 flex points per month, or I need to sell $1,166.66 per month. And then I divide that by 4 for a monthly goal, or for a weekly goal, and I get 291.66 per week. Tracy, can you hear us?
Yes, hi. Sorry I'm late.
No problem. I'm glad you came. That's great.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Yeah, long time no talk, Nicole.
I know.
All right, so we've
Jerry's
taken...
showing us how to get the trip, so yay.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, so we've broken it down, and then the next step then is to create a tracker to monitor progress. You can do that through Excel. You can use the incentive trip tracker, however you want to do it. This is just an example on the screen of, you know, week 1, this was my sales, week 2, and obviously you're not going to achieve exactly to the dollar or to the flex point of your weekly. Some weeks are going to be better than others. For example, last week I had no sales, but the week before I had 791. So over time, it should all even out, knowing that there are ebbs and flows in anybody's business, regardless of if you're trying to earn an incentive trip or not. But there's a few extra things to keep in mind, and that is from 0 in sales to 10,000 in sales, you get 1 flex point for each dollar. But beyond that, so 10,001 and more, you get 5 flex points for each dollar. So it's not as insurmountable as it sounds to say, well, if I want to have 140,000 in flex points, I therefore have to have 140,000 in sales, because that's not true. I have to have 10,000 in sales, and then after that it becomes easier. So there's how I've pointed it out down below on the screen. So for 10,000, if I have my 10,000 in flex points, that means I have 130 left. But I really only need 26,000 in sales beyond that in order to hit my 140,000. Does that make sense?
That's huge difference. Wow.
It is a huge difference, absolutely. So my goal is to try and achieve that 10,000 as soon as I can, because then after that, it's much easier to earn. But there's something else that you need to keep in mind, is that you get flex points just for maintaining your title benefit, and you achieve those 2 times in the year. For what you are at the end of October, you earn it in November, they'll add it to your account, and then for what you are in April, they'll add it in May. I think it's May 1st and November 1st. So if you are Bronze Elite and you don't do anything but maintain Bronze Elite, at the end of October, you'll get 1,500 flex points, and at the end of April, you'll get another 1,500. So that's 3,000 flex points. If you're Silver and Silver Elite, you can earn 8,000 flex points, again, 4,000 in October and 4,000 in April. So that's why last month when I was talking about maintaining your title and knowing where your title is, I showed you on my demonstrator website that it shows where to go for your reports to find out if you need to maintain, if you need to do something, or if you're doing okay. Gold and Gold Elite, nobody in our team has achieved that yet, but you can earn 15,000 for that, and Platinum and Elite is 20,000. So you start deducting all of these off, again, it makes it a little bit more achievable, and those are flex points just for maintaining what your status is. Okay? So then the last thing is to try some new ideas. I find that I was very guilty when I was first as a demonstrator to say, well, I tried that and it didn't work. Or, you know, I'm not sure why things aren't working for me, or I'm so busy in my daily life, or I've got this coming, or I've got that coming. And, you know, I think we need to sometimes put our excuses aside and try some new ideas. So I'm going to hold people accountable for that this year. When I hear an excuse, I'm going to call it out as an excuse. And I want you to do the same thing with me. If you hear that I have an excuse coming on, stop it cold and tell me. Sounds like an excuse to me. And I would appreciate that, because I think sometimes we fall into patterns, which is why I put those 2 little quotes under there. But some ideas to try, and we'll talk more about that in the coming months, is, add a class each month, or a monthly club. The year that I earned Fiji, I had always had a Stampers 10, and then I got a second Stampers 10 at my open house. So I had 2 clubs going. And then I remember talking, I think it was Jan Leno, and I said to her something about, you should join my club. And she goes, yeah, I can make cards on my own though. What I'm really interested in is 3D ideas. And I said, oh, well, if I started in anything but a card club, would you come? And she goes, yeah. So I did that. I got my 3rd club started. And then because of that, I ended up, and because of some downline promotions as well, I ended up earning the cruise. And it wasn't, I don't even think I earned an award that year for sales. It just was a combination of factors and adding that extra club that boosted. Or maybe you consider getting 10 new customers a month. Easy to say, not quite as easy to do, but last Friday night, one thing that I found works really well here is supporting people who live in Europe with wedding invitations. I hang out with a lot of younger people, and some of them are getting married. And Friday night, I had 3 ladies over to help. One of them was the bride-to-be, and we made wedding invitations. And they don't go for the standard black and white. They don't print them out here. They just make them. They don't have to match the color of the weddings. It's very different here. It's cool. Actually, it's not so systematic as to, first you do this, then you do this. She's actually doing 2 different sets of wedding invitations. She's doing a beach wedding in Florida because she's marrying a fellow who's in the Army. And then they're coming to Germany to do the church wedding 6 months later. And that's often how they do it. They do a civil ceremony, and then they do the wedding, the formal one. The 2 people that came over to help make wedding invitations were friends of hers. They've never made anything before, and they both signed up for my class at the end of this month. So I think that, I think it's good to try different things. And then the final tip is to, I don't think I went through. I have this meeting notice that has come.
It just told us that you updated the minutes, and so we now have unlimited minutes.
Yeah, so does that mean I'm going to start paying money? I was just trying to get it off my.
I don't think they have your credit card, so they.
But they don't have your credit card. Okay.
Anyway,
it's all a learning experience.
It's
Again, craft fairs can get you new customers. I find I don't generate any sales during craft fairs, generally speaking, but it can generate some interest. And product shares. We're going to have a new catalog come out in January, and we're going to have the celebration. So product shares are something I think that can generate additional sales without a lot of additional work. So I think, there's lots of new ideas to try. And if you're trying to achieve goals, try some new ideas each time. And then Jan Wakeland actually has a challenge for the month of October for her direct downlines and 2 levels below that. And it's a Touch Your Business Every Day challenge. And all you do is sign up and say, yep, I promise I'm going to touch my business every day. And then once a week, she asks you if you've done it. She doesn't ask you to check in and tell what you've done. But one of my goals was to post twice a day on Facebook for my business customers. I've been doing it once a day, but not twice a day. And I thought, well, if I try one additional thing, it might generate some interest. So the other day I posted about the Stampin' Blends, and somebody who I didn't know before emailed me and asked me to send some information on the Stampin' Blends. And I told her she needed to join my team in order to put them in her starter kit because they're not publicly available and we don't know when they will be. So today's the final day. So I sent her a reminder today that today is the final day to sign up. So yeah. So any comments or questions or?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So it's a unique scenario. I think I've shared with you guys before that there are some demonstrators that we know here in the Roanoke area. And since I moved here, they have offered for me, they actually rent a space. And they have offered for me to have classes there. And I thought, well, how generous is that? But I can't, so I could quote unquote make some money by holding classes. But most of the people who are going to come are their customers. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to work with them ordering through me or through them, and I'm not quite sure how to handle it. So do you guys have any suggestions on that?
I have a lot, well, several. I have people who do both. They come to my events and they buy from somebody else, or they buy from me and they might go to somebody else's events. So my rule has always been, if you buy from somebody else, you can come to my event, but I'm not going to sell you anything. Or if my downline, I've had people in and had my downline there, and they had one of their customers, and I had the customer, because I was her demonstrator before, as well as Jen. And Jasmine handed me her order, and I immediately handed it to Jen and said, look, you know, you can come to my events, but you need to buy from your demonstrator. So that's always been my rule about that.
And that's kind of how I feel about it, because I don't want to take their customers from them.
Right.
That's not my goal. But then I don't quite know how to get my customers to come to their place. You know what I mean? I feel kind of weird about it. So,
I mean, it would just be like my downline used to use my space for their events.
okay.
So it's just kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think you should. I think you should just advertise it to your customers. If they, if they're okay with their customers coming and they're letting you use the space, you advertise, and you just, if somebody wants to order something, you tell them they need to go back to, oh crap, what's her name? Barbara.
Yeah, very good. No, wow, that was
That's
good,
what
Tracy. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not feeling great, guys. I'm kind of like out of it this morning.
I think too, you could be offering something that a demonstrator does not want to offer. For example, some demonstrators don't scrapbook. So if you're going to offer a class for scrapbooking, they may be like, well, better somebody I know than somebody I don't know. And then, it's tough.
That's a great example, Terry, because they don't offer scrapbooking. So that's a good one.
Yeah, or 3D. A lot of people don't offer 3D items, which is how I got that extra club going, because they loved it. It was hard to come up with ideas every month, but every month they loved it and they raved about it. And they usually bought everything that I demonstrated with to make the 3D items. So
I think it's hard to find, because I keep on thinking I'd like to do a 3D class, but I don't know how to charge for what those 3D items would be. That would be the hardest thing to figure out the pricing of that, unless you just charge a flat fee. I don't know.
I did. I charged $35 for my class. And then if they placed an order of, I think it was $20 or more at the class, I reduced it by either $5 or $10. I think $5. Now that's probably, you got to work out stuff like that yourself, right? For me, it was really important to get the sales. So I was willing to compromise on my time. There's a lot of people out there that would say that's a very bad business practice. So I think you work out what you think is best for you. But I think it was 25 for my card class and 35 for 3D, because 3D usually required more stuff, whether it was calendars and we made a mini calendar holder and I had to order the calendars or something like that, but we've got a lot of, boxes and bags, the test tubes. I think there's a lot. And you can do it every second month. I even had a Stampers 8 club that wanted to meet every 6 weeks, not every month and not every 2 months. So, yeah.
That's a really good question, though, Paula. I think pricing for classes is hard.
Right.
And I also think, since these people are being generous, and it's the only place I can do classes, I can't really do them here at the house. So I would do them at their place, but then I can't price so differently than they do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of pigeonholed that way.
I think you can.
You do?
I do. Sure. It's your business. It's your class. It's your customers. Absolutely.
Okay.
I would. Yep.
Look at use the cost calculator thing to come up with what you're going to charge. So you
There's
basically
cost calculator on the website. Okay.
yeah, and then add in something for your time is typically what I do.
Okay.
Or I triple, like for like Cue Cards Quick and stuff. It's kind of like whatever the base is and then tripled. So, I came up with Cue Cards is $1.50. Basically, it breaks down to $1.50 a card, but I keep those super simple most of the time. But then, like some of the ones we did at World Card Making Day that had some more layers and things, I would consider those more like what I will do for my countless Christmas cards, and I'll charge $2 a piece for those.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of just figure out what your average project costs
Right.
and keep it there.
Yeah. And then I charge $15 an hour for my time.
That's, yeah. And I've done that too. Like if I have somebody who wants to do something, like they want to just come, you know, me help them with a project. That's what I do is I charge them for the supplies and then I charge them $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And so this is probably a dumb question, but we don't get any CSVs with Stampin' Up for charging for a class, right? There's,
Right.
you know, it's only our sales that's going to help us earn
Yep.
trips and flex points and all that. Okay.
Yep. So what I do is I sell cards at work. I sell a lot of cards because they're just not that common here. And people, my name's starting to get out at work. And so, oh, so-and-so's graduating, so-and-so's birthday. So I charge €3 a card. And then what I do is I make sure I keep track of how much I'm selling and I turn around and that's what I buy in product. So I just turn it and put it right back into my business.
Oh, that's smart. Okay. And then that way you're earning from Stampin' Up. Okay.
That's right, but it's not coming out of my pocket, right? It's coming out of their pockets. And then I get the discount, which is kind of nice. So, and they don't even bat an eye. I mean, you know, the Dutch here, very frugal people, but they have no problem.
What is €3? Is that about $5? Is that? About right?
No, it's actually maybe $3.50.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the exchange rate is right now. £3, actually, the pound is plummeted. So that's all right. I know. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that idea. Thank you. That was helpful.
You're welcome. So other than that, any other burning issues or questions? Or I've had a few cards I thought I would like to share that I've made in the last couple of weeks, but what topics would you like to talk about?
Question for you, and I don't remember what it was. Show us the cards and we'll think about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I was gonna have my Stampin' Blends this week and share something that I'd made with those, but there was some kind of they closed the warehouse for a couple of days. Normally I place an order here and it's 4 days, that's all it takes. And then actually the day I get the email from Stampin' Up that my order's on its way, I get home and there's a notice in my mailbox saying your order has arrived. But they closed the warehouse in Germany for a couple of days to restock. But this was a card that I posted. Can you see it?
Yeah.
I can see it for me. So, so this was a card that I posted, and I actually posted it without Baker's Twine and with Baker's Twine, and generated a ton of responses on Facebook by simply asking, with the twine or without? I'd love your opinion. So that one was good. This one I haven't posted anywhere yet, but it's a birthday card, and to me it's more masculine, and it's using the wood textures paper.
Oh, there it is.
Can you see it okay?
Yeah, that looks good. Now I
So
can see it.
did you cut an oval and then cut the center out of the oval?
Yeah, with a smaller one.
That looks great.
The stitch shape and then just a solid to
It's a great way to use that.
Yeah, and then I die cut the leaves using the leftover wood textures. So I'm trying to generate, have any of you sold 3 and got 1 free? Have you done? Never.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
No sales for me on that one at all. So
Oh.
I thought, well, I'll just show these and just keep showing them.
What ribbon or twine is that? What that you had on that
That
card?
is that copper
Oh, the copper. Okay. Yeah.
ribbon. Yeah.
The one I'm addicted to, Nicole.
Yes. True.
A little bit.
And then this is a very simple layout idea. Whenever I get stuck, I have a Google Doc that I have links to different card map sites. And so this was a very simplistic card map idea, but it shows the paper, the punch, and I find Painted Harvest right now, I get a lot of hits. I get a lot of likes
Yeah.
for that. And then for the Paper Craft Crew coming up, there is a design challenge for embossing. And so I embossed Lovely as a Tree is also one that I get a lot of hits on YouTube if I ever use it. It seems to be a very common search. So
It's because everybody and their dog has it.
yep, works for me.
Pretty.
Very pretty.
Although I heard a rumor they're retiring it this year.
No, don't say that. So this layout I liked, so I did this.
Oh.
Again, using almost the same layout. So another thing you can do, and what I'm finding is, you know, as a suggestion, Stampin' Up! Does this. They'll do a video, and then at the end of the video, they'll show you a couple of other ideas that they've created. And I've learned if I just hang in long enough to the end of the video, which boosts you in the search rankings, not only on YouTube, but on Google, is the longer, I think it's anything after 3 minutes, then the longer they stay, the higher you're in the search rankings. So I'm starting to show additional ideas. So that was the pink basket of wishes. And then the last one is, it's time to do Christmas. And my Christmas paper hasn't arrived yet. I ordered the one that was in the holiday catalog with this, no, in the annual catalog. I hadn't ordered it yet, but I have a Christmas class next week. And then I have one again in November. So I thought it's time to, while I'm waiting for Christmas sets to come, to use the hang your stocking, because I really like that. And then I used the little snowflake that was in the one with the deck chairs, the framelits.
Yeah, the
seasonal layers. Is that one called seasonal layers with the
yes
chair?
Yes.
I'm just waiting on mine to get here.
The seasonal layers one is the wedding invite. One of the wedding invites that we made has beach chairs on it. So we used the seasonal layers, and while they were making these wedding invites with the deck chairs, I saw this snowflake and thought, oh, I'll use that as well. So that's my share.
Very nice.
Super cute.
Yeah, it's fun. I like to keep it simple. So any other questions or anything? Anybody want to share anything? Okay, no problem.
Not very weak.
A long week.
Oh
yeah, we had a blast last Saturday. Wish you had been here.
Yeah.
What did you do? Oh, your World Card Making Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the photo. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you didn't see the photo was that at one point there wasn't even a chair for me. So.
That's a good problem to have.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was funny because it was 2 of my customers and then everybody else was a demonstrator, which was a riot. But yeah, everybody had a great time. And
so is those 2 customers going to join your team?
No. One of them, she's a lawyer that she specializes in like cases where somebody has maybe a mental disability or something. Mm-hmm. And so she travels a ton. And then the other lady, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just no, she basically, I mean, I've even told her, you know, as much product as she buys, you know, elsewhere, she ought to sign up and get the discount, but she's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met her for 2 seconds basically, but I can tell too. She's not demonstrating material, but a good customer. She likes creating.
Yeah. She's she's an okay customer, and you know, and she comes to events and she does buy product, which is better than some of them do. Some of them, you know, I have my whole scrapbooking group. They never buy product, but if I'll make scrapbook pages for them to copy, they'll, you know, come all day long. So, but it's okay. I actually had somebody call me it was Friday, who had been a downline years ago and had moved, and we kind of lost track of each other. But anyway, she called, and I think she's going to come back over and sign up again this week. So we'll see.
The 2 ladies that came over to make invites, one of them is from Saudi Arabia, and she'd never crafted before, but her mom is a real crafter. And so I put her in charge of the Big Shot because she was having a little difficulty with scoring. So I guess the scoreboard was it wasn't working for her. So I said, well, why don't you come around and you can, you know, run things through the Big Shot. So she was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Well, sure enough, easy peasy, she could. Yeah. She was going through, she goes, you know, this is a really cool machine. I think my mom would like this. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to, like, I just knew where we were going. And she said, you know, I think she'd like this for Christmas. And I said, yeah, where does she live? She goes, the United States. And I'm like, oh, yes, that works, definitely. Because I was thinking Saudi Arabia, and I was like, you know, sorry, we don't sell in Saudi Arabia. And that's pretty heavy for you to lug, you know, over to Saudi Arabia for Christmas. But yeah, she's going to get her a Big Shot and some embossing folders. And then she said, and then she can just buy whatever she wants after that. And I thought, you know, you just never know when somebody comes over that, and I don't think she would come to a crafting class herself, but, and her mom obviously isn't going to come because her mom lives, I think, in Texas somewhere, but yeah, just never know when you're going to get sales. And it's just these, and I'm not very outspoken when it comes to that, but it was the woman who we were making the wedding invites for that was like, oh, you should buy this for your mom. I mean, she was the one that was really vocal about the whole thing. So yeah, and then she was like, and you should give her a catalog, and you should get her a couple of embossing folders and some of those silver things that cut out things. They're so cool. And so yeah.
The silver cutout things.
You know, those silver cutout things that we used over and over and over again for wedding invitation 1, and then wedding invitation 2, we're going to use it again. So yeah, and these 2 ladies can't come, so she's going to have to find some other people to come and help make her wedding invitations. And I'm like, that might work to my benefit as well. You just never know, right? Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys, how did your customers respond to the World Card Making Sale?
I actually had one who did buy. I'm trying to think, did I have more? I had a couple of people buy from it. They were all not real happy about Fast Fuse not being available after the 4th day, and I totally missed it. I didn't get any either. So that was kind of a bummer, but yeah, I had not a great response, but because the ones who, they would look at it and go, okay, well, is this a better deal? And then I buy the framelits or the punch, or should I just buy the bundle?
Right.
And once they kind of looked at it, if they wanted both, it wasn't as good a deal.
Right.
But I did have one lady who had something, I don't remember what she had. Anyway, I had a couple who bought, and then I actually lucked out because I had 2 big orders. So I got, I did the coffee set where I bought the coffee when at the discounted rate. And then I got 2 packs of the paper. I got an extra pack of paper because of the paper deal. And then I used my hostess benefits to buy the framelits. Does that make sense? That matched the coffee set. So for me, it was a good deal. But if you were a hostess and you looked at it that way, it was a really good deal. And I did have one person who did that. But overall, I didn't have a great response, because if they'd offered it as a bundle and they'd offered 15% off the bundle like they used to do,
Right.
then I think it would have generated more sales for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because that's what I noticed when I looked at what was on sale. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I've already got that because I bought a bundle.
Yeah.
That's not even in, you know what I mean? And so I was a little, so Paula?
Well, they do that with other things too, that all of a sudden you kind of weigh out the means to say it's better just to get the bundle versus buying this when it's on special. And I can't remember what sale they put on, that they've done that before, that they have just a stamp set and not the framelits that go with it, and then I say to my girls, it's best just to go on to buy the bundle versus what's the stamp sets on sale, because it's not more efficient. And then they end up buying the bundle or thinking about the bundle later.
Yeah, for me, I've had nothing.
Nothing.
No, the buy 3, get 1 free paper thing as well. Never. And I told my BDA that. I said, this has been 3 years in a row, and I can tell you there won't be a single sale. And it's not like I don't market it, right? And it's not like I don't show the paper and say, this is the buy 3, get 1 free. But I think sometimes they're paper choices. If they had done the Merry Little Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. I was getting ready to say the same thing. If they had offered a different, because
if they're going to do it, they should offer it. They should make it be everything.
I agree, because of course I didn't read the rules, and I came up with a whole plan of what I wanted, right? And then got to it and went, crap, that's not in the special,
right?
And that was really disappointing to me.
They're trying to empty their warehouse.
Right, I get it.
But I think the other problem is by this point in the year, the people who are going to buy the daisy paper, the people who are going to buy the coffee paper, they've already bought that stuff. They've already bought what they're going to buy from the annual catalog paper-wise, most of the time. I mean, so I don't think it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tracy. And unless they've decided they're going to do a project or send mass amount of cards making this paper or do something, they're not going to buy it again. Yeah, I agree with you. So
what sells for me, or for my customers, my current customers, and my future customers may be different, is when they see something. So a couple of days ago, somebody on I think it was the demonstrators planning website. It was a Stampin' Up! Facebook page. I forget the name of it. Anyway, she posted a really cute, the quilted Christmas paper, and she had taken the smallest square stitch framelit and had die cut them out. And she had created this really cute quilted Christmas card because it looked like the little stitch marks. So she posted it on the site and she said, oh, look what I discovered, you know? And so I immediately on Facebook said, can I take the idea and can I share it? And I will give you credit. She wrote and said, sure. So I posted it the next day and said, you know, Wendy, a fellow demonstrator, came up with this great tip. I'm sharing it with you. Got a no contact order for the bundle right away.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, you know, I think it's not these kinds of things that works. It's the ideas. And I think, you know, when Stampin' Blends come out and everybody starts posting those, I think people will go, oh, I love that idea and I want to buy what I need to have to make it.
Well, that's why, like, I mean, I can't even say how many Painted Harvest bundles I've sold because I did that demonstration at the quarterly, and I've done it with both of my hostess clubs. Pretty much everybody has it already. I mean, they have gone nuts for that because there are so many good samples out there.
Yeah, for sure. It's beautiful. And I've just learned that if something comes out that's like Painted Harvest and I don't like it, I've learned buy it and make samples with it because you're going to end up getting your money's worth in the long run for it. I will give you a hint and a tip. There is a new product coming out very soon that our competitors don't have that I think will be very positive. Can't share any of the details for it, but it's very exciting. So it's another tool that we're getting. So I would encourage you to invest in the Stampin' Blends because our competitors don't have any of those products similar to that. That's the other thing is, you know, I looked in catalogs from our competitors and I'm starting to make note of what we have that they don't have, and probably would be a good idea for them to do the same. And that way, you know, really emphasize that because they can't go and get it anywhere else. And Stampin' Blends is one of our products, I think, that would work very well for that.
Who do you consider our competitors, Terry? I'm just
Fun Stamper's Journey,
mm-hmm.
I think, is one. And then...
is Close to My Heart still in business?
Yeah, Close to My Heart is still in business. Yeah, and then, you know, of course, we can't control what Walmart sells, right?
True.
I don't even consider them competitors. There's nothing we can do about that. But those are the two that I think are our biggest competitors. Tracy, do you know of any others?
And that's funny because isn't Fun Journal just, is it just new to our area, ladies, or it's been around, you know, because I just learned it because of Vicki, you know, moving over there.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, I had gone to the scrapbooking, there was some kind of thing over the fairgrounds that I had gone to. And there was a bunch of different groups that, you know, produce stamps.
Yeah.
And some of the girls that I had gone with, you know, they were jumping at certain way, you know, they had different things that Stampin' Up! Does not offer, you know, kind of, you know, designs.
Right.
And all. But there was one lady there, and I haven't done it yet, but we did buy it. It was with foil, and you heat it, and you make a card with it. You know, there's a design. Let me think if I can get my little card for you. Hold on.
There's a former demonstrator that now sells her own stamps, Catherine Pooler.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yep, she's got her own company now. And somebody actually posted on Facebook, a generic-y one I was on. Somebody said, where do you go to get your stamps? And of course, there's a bunch of demonstrators on there. And so we were all Stampin' Up, Stampin' Up. And then somebody said, Fun Stamper's Journey. There were several people. And then somebody said, Catherine Pooler. And I was like, really? You actually know about her? And that, I mean, good for her, right? She's eking out a business on her own.
Can you see this card right here?
Yeah.
This is with foil.
Ooh.
The background is with foil or the flower?
Here's the foil.
Oh.
Now you put the design on here, and then you run it through a laminating machine, and you get that design that heats on it right there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's very cool.
And so they have rolls of this foil that, you know, the lady was selling. Apparently you can buy this foil, I think maybe at Hobby Lobby or something. I don't know, because I don't go to Hobby Lobby. And
so that's not our foil paper, Paula?
No. I mean, it's really thin.
Okay.
It looks kind of mylar-y.
Maybe so, yeah. And you just put it on here somehow, and then you just run it through the heat tool. But that was one of the things that impressed, the girls that I had gone with, was this kind of shiny cards.
People like shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, embossing. This is the time of year to get into embossing, heat embossing.
Yeah.
I love that, and it feels Christmassy too.
Oh, I did get my new heat tool. I'm very happy.
Oh, yay!
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, and and we they don't celebrate Halloween here at all, so I've just kind of been in limbo, and they don't do Thanksgiving, obviously.
Aww.
So it's like, all right, let's do Christmas, and they're all very excited. And I said, well, we can do a couple of months of Christmas, and they were like, or we could do 3 months of Christmas. I'm like, okay.
Halloween's your favorite, though. That's a bummer.
I like Halloween. Yeah, I do. But I didn't buy anything other than the test tubes because I figured I'm on a co-op group, so I'm hoping that they'll generate a lot of Halloween stuff that then I can post, and then I'll do Christmas for them as a return. So
my mom, sister, and niece and I went to the Craftsman craft show yesterday, the one that tours around a lot. I don't know if you guys have ever been to it. We consider it one of the best, and we haven't been in quite a few years, and it was really neat, and lots of obviously handmade things and stuff there. And there was a booth where this woman had taken watercolor paper and created, this booth was huge. I should have taken a picture of all kinds of earrings and pins and necklaces and brooches. And she takes the watercolor paper and she showed her a little process of how she paints it and decorates it. So she then puts resin over it, like with all the rhinestones and everything. I'm going to go grab my earrings in just a second so I can show you, and then turns them into the jewelry. And her process was showing how she cut out like snowmen and penguins and all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking punches would be good. But then again, most of our punches are way too big for earrings and, and framelits and things like that. But I'm going to go grab those earrings. But it was neat. I was like, I never would have thought to add resin to everything to do it.
Next weekend, I'm going to, it's like a craftsman show as well. It's in some little community in the Netherlands, and my upline here has offered to take me because I don't have a car here and it's too far to cycle and there's not a tram that goes there. But I think it's where they sort of reveal or unveil all the new tools and things that are coming out. So I'll make sure to take good notes and share with you, what's the big thing here. Crafting is getting bigger here, but there's no such thing as Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby or any. For one thing, there's not the land space to have a big warehouse like that, so that's a good thing, I guess. So there's one little store called Pipos that they sell sort of a combination of everything that you might want to craft, but it's very small. So yeah, I'll let you know what I discover.
My mom got Christmas trees.
Oh, cute.
Wow.
So, and then, while I'm getting this out of the package, the other thing we saw was this guy had made 3D pop-up cards.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cabolies.
Were they huge in Japan as well? Is that a little penguin?
A little penguin.
Oh, super cute.
Yeah. So they're very lightweight because all they are is the watercolor paper and the resin that she's got on there. So anyway, I thought it was clever. I was like, wow, I never would have thought of that. And those 3D cards, I'm like, that would probably drive me insane. I think you have to be an engineer. Made me think of Christina Tracy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Somebody who does that, I think at the Christmas shows here, that there's a 3D person that does cards that I have seen before. I've never bought one, but they were, fascinating to look at the way they popped up.
Yeah, they're all over Japan and they're just amazing. So intricate. They're just stunning. So
this scarf was done on a little loom.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it just goes over your head. And I just thought it was just neat because it dresses up. Sorry, I don't have the right color on, but it just dresses up anything.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It is pretty.
You don't have to tie it. Yay.
Right.
No loose ends to get caught in my bike. Yay. Yeah, there you go. And life has changed dramatically.
And then, of course, stuff like this that I bought for the woman whose dog passed away, the little coin purse. I'll show you one more thing because I thought this was very clever.
We have a stamp set about that too. Oh, that's nice.
Bag.
Is that a cloth bag?
It is, but very sturdy, and it's called the organizer bag.
Oh,
Here's the inside, and so
wow.
it's got all these little pockets that you can do stuff with, and little ones for like your lipstick, and
I like little organizers.
put in the instructions of ideas of what to put in what. And like
Wow.
the pockets on the outside, you can fit a mini iPad in or tablet, and then you can do, your water on one side and your umbrella on the other.
And it's
Yeah.
not big, yeah, because I found that
Yeah.
now that I carry an iPad with me when I travel, you tend to have a really large bag, then it gets jumbled up with everything inside that bag. Yeah, I like
And this
these.
was their medium size, but because it fit all of that, and it weighs all of 10 ounces empty, but still very sturdy, but you can throw it in the washing machine and dry it.
That's cool.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry. So,
Sweet.
sure. Nothing to do with stamping, sorry guys.
Yeah, thanks. Cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
You all have plans, I'm sure, for Thanksgiving. So when we look at dates for November, would the 19th work? Or is that a bust because it's the beginning of Thanksgiving week?
It's a bust for me because it's the day after Tracy Bauer's wedding, and my mom and sister are coming in.
Tracy's getting married.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah. The 18th
Oh,
of November. Yeah. It's been a very short engagement. They've been dating for a couple of years, but
yeah.
yeah, it's going to be really pretty. But it's
Okay.
Can you do the 12th, Terry, or is that?
I can do. No, I can't do the 12th because I'm going to be in Cambodia.
Oh, right. You just told us that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it has to be either the 19th or the 26th.
I can do the morning of the 26th. I have a calendar class that I need to make the calendar for that afternoon.
And what about the rest of you? Does the 26th work?
That's fine with me too. Yep.
Oh, sweet. All right. I will send an invite early, and I'll put it as an event on Facebook.
Yeah, I didn't ever see the notice or anything. It was really weird.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I'm glad that we managed to catch up. And I'm not sure what happened to Chimera, so because she had said yes, she was coming.
Do you think she goes to church? I don't know. I mean, because it is 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as I get better lighting in here, I'm going to order a lamp then, because I have pathetic lighting in this apartment. So when it's nighttime here, like the sun is setting now, in another hour, you wouldn't see me. It would just be, even with my little table lamp, I would just be shadow, and it's not great. So
what time is it there?
it's 6:09
Okay,
here.
so we're 6 hours
I'm
apart.
6 hours ahead of you. Yeah. So, and sun goes down. So, yeah. Okay, so the 26th it is, and have a good month, everyone. And if you need anything from me, just send me an email or ask on Facebook, and we're all here to support each other.
Awesome.